Hey guys, welcome back to Ollie's Zoo again, and we're going to do a video today that's been well overdue, and we're going to look at these little guys right here. This is a crested gecko. You'd never guess they come from the gecko family, which compromises, I think, roughly about 2,000 odd species of lizard, which is incredible really when you think about it. And they're amazing creatures. Crested geckos in particular come from the day gecko family, and day geckos are quite interesting because of their specialised diets that they have. So we're just going to talk about these a little bit today. It has been long overdue, this video, because any of you that have ever had a visit from Ollie's Zoo that watch these videos will recognise this little cheeky chappy. This is Malcolm, our crested gecko that we have here at Ollie's Zoo, and he just jumped onto the camera. Silly boy. We'll get onto that in a little bit, actually, why they perform that behaviour. But he is on the leaflet cover for Ollie's Zoo, is Malcolm. You know, so he's kind of our the leading animal for our marketing, really. So it has been long overdue, this video. Anyway. So crested geckos, they come from New Caledonia, which is in the southwest of the Pacific Ocean. So it's in the southern hemisphere. It's a fairly small island, really, when you compare it to other tropical, islands. Got quite an interesting ecosystem. Lots of reptiles there, lots of rodents, nice species of birds. There's no large mammalian predators. So reptiles kind of are, I suppose, the dominant species there as a whole. Crested geckos, they sort of live... Hey Duck! Duck what's in on the video. Crested geckos, they sort of live high up in the mountainous regions of the island. So it's very damp up there. It's not particularly, really hot up there. Even though it is a tropical region of the world, it's not, because it's so high up, the temperature does decrease the higher up you go, so it's very damp, very moist, like a temperate rainforest rather than like a tropical rainforest, like a lot of reptiles do inhabit. And they have a very, very interesting diet, crested geckos. They're frugivores, so they particularly like flowers and fruit nectar, which is pretty cool. And I don't know if he was just doing it then, but he was just licking his eyelids, which is an amazing behaviour that they perform. Crested geckos don't have eyelids, so they have to keep them clean themselves, and they do that by licking them. Of course, when I've just zoomed the camera and he's stopped. Oh well. So they like their fruit and things like that. So in captivity, you feed them like a fruit mixture called rapashi. You can also feed them little jelly pots as well, and they love these. You do get the odd crested gecko that prefers live foods like crickets and locusts, but Malcolm here, he's strict rapashi and jelly pots. So when people are considering their first reptile, it's always a case of bearded dragons because they're the most popular, or sometimes horsefield tortoises because of their availability, corn snakes because of their ease of feeding, royal pythons because of their docile nature. But a lot of these reptiles, they cost a lot of money to maintain diet-wise. Bearded dragons, as I've done videos on in the past, they require so much feeding and such a varied diet as well. With the cresties, maintenance of diet, you get them this rapashi mixture, which is like a powder, like baby food. You warm it up in a little dish, stir it together, and it's like a paste mixture. And the jelly pots, they're so cheap. Most retailers have them at about 15 pence per pot, so it's pittance that you're spending. And the rapashi, it can last you a good 6 weeks in some cases. A tub of crickets for Fat Boy up there, and the mealworms and the morio worms and that type of thing, they plough through that within a week, and when they're costing about £2 to £2.50, it's tenner a month. Then you times that by 2 if you want another bearded dragon. It's just you know, there are more expensive lizards than these guys, you know. And as you can see, he's so laid back, so placid when you handle them, you know. So I don't know why more people don't consider the cresties as pets. You know, they're really cool lizards. They are nocturnal. You know, they are most active at night time when you turn the tank off, when you turn the lights off. You will hear some people say that they don't need UVB lighting. In my personal opinion, I won't give any lizard, I would not give any lizard UVB lighting. You know, the vitamin D particles are essential for calcium development and calcium production. I have seen some crested geckos with horrid metabolic bone disease, which I have highlighted in past videos. Is a disease that's most commonly seen in lizards that aren't exposed to UVB lighting and calcium supplement. So I still give crested geckos UVB lighting, you know, of a moderate strength, so 5.0, because they are rainforest creatures, rather than 10.0, which would be desert creatures like bearded dragons. Give them, you know, a decent strength heat bulb as well, you know, because they are still reptiles, they are still cold-blooded creatures, they do need the warmth, you know. So just basic sort of lighting and heating setup that you would have with most reptiles anyway. In terms of enclosure design, there's a lot you can do with crested geckos, and I'm going to do a video soon about live plants, so that's my preferred method of keeping crested geckos. But give them like a sort of like humid based setup, because they are rainforest creatures, so you want those humidity levels to be present so that they don't get respiratory infections or anything like that. Yeah, and the deadies, as long as you're spraying them every day, give them a handle every so often, so that they don't become you know, frightened or nervous of you. They're awesome creatures to care for, really cool. And you know, how like dinosaur like are they? Look at that reflection in his eye there. It's just like a velociraptor from Jurassic Park. It's so cool. They're really cool little creatures. So yeah, I couldn't praise crested geckos enough, really. So yeah, there's probably more to say about these guys, but I'm trying not to make this video too long. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be doing another video soon on live plants and the uses that they have for reptiles. So it'd be awesome if you could like this video, share it, leave a comment down below if you've got crested geckos, or if you want to know more about crested geckos. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.